What are some of the common questions that people who want to take a cruise usually ask? We're going to find out about that today, coming up. Hi, Olivia here, and you're watching Health Before Travel, the channel that helps you to stop and think about your health and safety before you take that trip. So today, like I mentioned before, we want to find out what really intrigues people about taking a cruise, but as well as what are some of the common questions that they ask as well. We are joined today with Bev Wynne, who is a
travel consultant, Expedia Cruise Ship Centers.
Now that you're a travel consultant, you actually get to see behind the scenes what goes on and putting together a cruise for people. What would probably be like the number one question that people ask?
Why should I cruise? And the good question, and why you should cruise, is it's like one-stop shopping. You get on board, you see 5 or 6 different places, you only unpack once. So you always know you can get good food back on the ship in case you don't like the delicacies that are out on the streets.
As well as, I guess, the risk, right? Because, you know, this whole channel is about, you know, the risk of traveling. And food is huge, right? Because, you know, when you're eating on the streets, you're susceptible to intestinal issues or bugs, water conditions, those kind of things. So I hear a lot of people say that, you know, they're going away, but they're going on a cruise and that they have no intentions of eating out on the street because they'll just eat back on the cruise ship. But the other thing that I've noticed as well on the cruise ships is they take sanitary conditions very, very seriously.
Oh, it's they have to be over 98%. They have to pass.
Oh.
They're very, very strict with the health issues, because if one person gets sick, it could cause the whole cruise to get sick. So they're very, very serious with their sanitation and their food handling. Everything is gone through with a fine-tooth comb, from the ice cream machines to the ovens. It has to be 98% sanitized.
Okay, that's good to know, because as a traveler myself, and you know, you guys and your other travelers out there, you want to know that when you're going away that they're taking and doing their own due diligence to make sure that your trip is as clean and as safe as possible.
Oh yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I would imagine that at Expedia they take that very seriously too. So
yes.
If a cruise ship has a bad rating,
we don't.
we
won't use it.
You won't use it.
No.
Perfect. Another thing too is, and I know that this is changing, that you know you're getting a lot of different age groups now, especially like with Disney Cruise, and then you've got the Carnival Cruise, which is for the young people. So I know it's changing, but traditionally it's been the 55 and over, and 55 and over generally have, as a generalization, health conditions. Do you ever get anybody who's concerned about, you know, making sure, is there medical facilities on board? Is there a pharmacy on board? If they were to get sick or injured or have a heart attack or something, is there somewhere that they can get to?
Yes, there's always a medical facility on the ship with a doctor and a nurse 24 hours a day. You can go there for a common cold to chest pains. It's not a full medical hospital, but they are in touch with the closest hospital available, and they're constantly radioing back and forth if there's someone very sick. And then they make the decision whether to wait till they get to port or to medevac them off the ship.
Okay, and medevac, are you using like a helicopter?
They'll have a helicopter come out and take you to the nearest hospital. And that is why you must have travel insurance. That does cover a evacuation of the ship.
Very good point. And so Expedia, do you pay attention to travel insurance with each of your clients?
Yes, we have to recommend it to every client that we have to make sure it's their choice whether they take it, but we strongly advise everyone to have it no matter where you're going.
Yes, as well as I strongly advise it as well. As a travel insurance specialist myself, I strongly advise people to take travel insurance no matter whenever you do leave home and you leave your country, that you actually do have coverage.
Well, and it's the coverage, you have to check your coverage as well. Depending on what type of coverage you have, the air ambulance might not be covered. So you do have to check your insurance.
Very important point, because of course if you have to be medevaced by helicopter or aircraft, you need to know that that's covered.
Yes,
right?
And some people have found out that they're not covered, which is the very hard way.
Yes.
Or they are covered from the cruise ship to land, but to get home, they're not covered for that part.
Wow.
So you really have to check your insurance. Oh. Well, it's right on time.
So it is so important that you do get a travel insurance, and you guys do make sure that they actually are aware of the coverage that you're offering.
Yes,
them, right?
you must sign a waiver to say that you decline the travel insurance that the travel agency is offering you, and maybe you have your own on your credit card or you've got your own policy, but you do have to sign a waiver.
Okay, so you can see the emphasis and the importance that goes on travel insurance, and just making sure that you're covered regardless of your age. Actually, the very, very young are just as susceptible as the very old. And I know there's this sort of thing like, you know, I don't need insurance because I'm young, I'm healthy, and nothing will ever happen to me. But I just want to bring to your attention too, what happens is not, I'm just generalizing here, but what happens when we're young and we're out we're out partying, we drink. And when we drink, and we drink excessively, and then if anything was to happen, you are not covered under your insurance policy. And I'm sure the cruise ships see a lot of that.
Oh yes, they have their own little jail downstairs, confinement cells on the ship for anybody that's won't adhere to the rules.
Right, exactly. I know that there's for abusive cases too, right?
Yes.
Like people and they see a lot of that.
Yeah. Cruises can be little soap operas for a week.
You hear a lot, right?
Oh yes.
You hear a lot, see a lot. You've been on the cruises. I guess you've taken it all in. I guess some of the other concerns that you get when you have people calling in are maybe the different programs that you have there, maybe for special needs, for people with disabilities. You know, how accommodating are these cruises with people with those kind of special needs? Cruises
are very, very good. Autistic children, disabled, hearing, blind, dialysis, you can cruise no matter what you have. They do allow service dogs as well. They have special places for them to go to the washroom and things like that. You just have to tell ahead of time what exactly your disability is, and they can pretty much accommodate anything. There's special need counselors for the youth. They have their own special programs. Priority boarding for any disabled people or autistic children, special needs children. They're all treated very, very well.
And a lot of people may not know that actually, and so it's a great place to go. Like you said, it's the one stop. You get on the cruise ship, you unpack, and now you set sail and you get to see and experience so many different things. And regardless that you need special attention for whatever disability that you have or illness or anything, then they will accommodate that.
They will. All the food, gluten-free, peanut-free, any kind of allergy you have is taken care of on the ship.
That's good to know. Yeah, I did a previous video actually on people who are traveling with allergies and how it's very restrictive for them, because they have to always make sure that where they're traveling actually takes into consideration those special needs that they have.
If you've got severe allergies, it's probably better than going to an all-inclusive.
Yes.
Actually, yes.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. So cruising is the way to go then, right?
It absolutely is.
I know I've heard of some people who actually live on a cruise ship because it's even can work out cheaper.
Oh, yes.
In some cases, right?
Oh, I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
When I'm like 65, 70,
yeah.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, no, if you think about it, like the cost of living, and you just book on a cruise or one of those world tours.
Oh, if you can afford it, that's the way to go.
Yeah, Bev, that was great information that you brought to us. Thank you so much for being here. That you've given us a lot of information. So you can actually contact Bev if you have any questions or you want to take that cruise. And I'm going to put her contact information in the description down below, and reach out to Bev as well as the Expedia Cruise Ship Centers. again, thank you so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you again next week. And in the meantime, don't forget, when you're traveling, you're going to be thinking about your health and staying safe before your next trip. Take care. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Expedia, what is it called again?
Expedia Cruise Ship Centers.
Oh, yes. And reach out to her and can't say it.
Expedia
Expedia Cruise Ship Centers. Okay.